Hello, folks. I greet you. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Welcome to another program in the series, Homo Politicus. As we say, accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Consider this. When politicians drop the ball, Governor Amosun also cancelled my Ogun contract like he did Chinese contract, according to Professor Utomi. You know, the slang, dropping the ball, simply means to make a mistake. As a behavioral science, politics, we are told, is the art of looking for trouble, finding it everywhere, diagnosing it differently, and applying the wrong remedies. Nigeria is presently enmeshed in a diplomatic row with China over a contract deal gone awry with a Chinese firm. A former Ogun State politician and governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, is at the center of it all. 3 presidential jets, if you know, of our country's fleet have been seized. I hear one has been released. A Nigerian professor of political economy, Patrick Okodenachi Utomi, has let it be known that the Chinese were not only victims of the former governor's immoderate dealings. He, Professor Utomi, had a build, operate, and transfer agreement, that's a BOT agreement, under a previous Ogun State Chief Executive, Otumba Gbenga Daniel. The job was halted by Amosun on his assumption of office. Despite meetings with the former governor that all was well, the situation remained unaltered. Professor Utomi was to get a dose of intrigues which hurt him so. Senator Amosun has hit back at Professor Utomi. The political back and forth is akin to a boy kicking a noisy can down a quiet street. Now let's go there. My discussants are familiar to you, so let's meet and greet them. The breezy Cyril, the Port Harcourt boy, Cyril Abaku, the Port Harcourt boy, is here. Cyril, I greet you. Welcome.
Thank you, Citizen Jones. I'm glad to be here.
Cyril is joined by the indomitable Emeka Madunagu. Yeah. Emeka is a journalist.
Hello,
yeah.
viewers.
Gentlemen, the story we are dealing with is not new to you, or is it? The intrigues.
Well, it's interesting that year in, year out, we are bogged down in Nigeria by intrigues. You know, everything in Nigeria is reduced to politics. And politics of the dubious kind, politics of the messy kind, politics of the unhelpful kind, politics that does not advance the nation's interests, and which is a very sad commentary on our national life. The latest, spat between former Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun and Professor Pat Tommy, of course, reminds us of the fact that our major problem in Nigeria is actually politics of the dirtiest kind. Not in the interest of the nation, but politics played at the whims of people who especially hold executive power. And that is what is at play here. Utomi says he had a contract with the Ogun State government. And Amosun has hit back, saying all kinds of things. Very interestingly, he said Utomi gave him a plaque instead of a plaque. Well, maybe I'm wondering whether that's the bone of contention.
Yeah.
But for every contractual matter between the state and
the
organizations, there is what is called the public procurement law that clearly states out how contracts should be awarded, how they should be bidded for, how they should be tendered
and executed.
And executed.
Yeah.
But what do you find? A lot of personal dealings concerning matters of state. And then when things go awry, like you said in the prologue, then the dirty details begin to pop up. And I feel both sides, actually should understand that Nigerians are not, interested in the comedy they're trying to play out. It's sad. But the other thing is that Utomi's story tells a lot about the experiences of contractors in Nigeria, many contractors. Some have died out of frustration.
In fact, Utomi talks about a former Ogun indigene who died as a result of...
Who took his life?
Who took his life, yeah. Yeah, Cyril, but we are told that in politics, enmity and friendship are not permanent. Only interests are.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you are able to rationalize what the former governor means by Utomi is still sucking because I refuse to feed his entitlement mentality.
No, so this is about fighting dirty or playing dirty. And I would say needlessly so. He has left the issues now and is attacking the personality. As bad as that may be, you know that in the rule books of regulations and all of that, damage control, crisis management, they will tell you these things. Yes, how to attack the opponent or the enemy, the adverse party.
How to hit back.
Yes, because at this point, what you're doing isn't primarily to set the record straight. It is to make the person look bad in the court of public opinion. That is your escape route. It's not to set any record straight. So, my first worry is about what someone curiously or uncannily referred to as a kakistocracy. And it has been with us for a very long time. You know...
Not about to go?
The clouds are still hanging over us, to borrow a poet's words. He said, the clouds are still hanging over us. So, what I would say is this, right? When you're elected as president or as governor, even as council chairman, there is a part of it that has been hired to be a manager.
Okay.
And there's a part of it that has been hired to be a leader. These are two very
a leader of men and materials.
Yes. A manager has to look at the books, has to look at the rules, has to look at what the law says, what the regulations say, what the say. But you know that people don't achieve results by following rules and regulations only. All through history, people who have achieved the most are those who have gone from being mere managers to being actual leaders, who bring empathy to the game, who feel that everybody has an equal stake in what is going on.
Sorry, my mind quickly goes to Nelson Mandela.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even Winston Churchill.
Winston,
I mean, when he said, "Never in the history of man has so much
been owed to so few by so many."
Yes, you know. So, I mean, look at that sort of. This is a man who clearly came to use everything he could to save everything that was worth saving. So, in the case of
save a country,
save a country, and you won't imagine that Governor Amosun, yes, as governor, he thought that the deal needed to be called off, and he did it in the most.
According to him, the state assembly knocked the deal off.
You see, but the point. So I've been asking
on whose prompting.
Again, and then I've been asking. There is a state minister of justice. There are state councils. There's federal minister of justice. And what advice? Because I said they consulted the SSS and who, and I was going to say, okay, what did the lawyers tell you? At least the minister of justice had prepared the pass for the contract when Bengaden was governor. I mean, you wouldn't have sacked everybody now. They are still there.
Oh, yeah.
They are civil servants. What advice did they give? And what are the terms for termination, if at all such was even incorporated in a contract? So all of that are on the table. Then, thirdly, again, because we lack leadership in this country. Have you now imagined, Citizen Jones, that the law has lost its voice? The law is buried. When the law is buried, law enforcement is handicapped. Yeah. Otherwise, how is it that such a humongous embarrassment has been cast on our country, and all that we are reading is what Bayonanuga said, what Utomi said, what Amosun said, You know, in a class.
I want you to reconcile all of this to the fact that 3 aircraft in the presidential fleet have been seized.
That's what I mean by, so I'm coming, sir. An egregious, you know, a worst case global embarrassment on Nigeria.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. A worst case, and then what domestically, it came down to no official is in the wrong. Everybody did the right thing. What Brian Onuga said, what Amosun said, what Utomi said. So all of us are going to be sitting and I'm listening to na you say na you.
Because the Nigerian media is lazy.
Oh yeah.
This is gross criminal laziness.
They won't go behind
the Nigerian media. You have your archives. You have your archives. Report about what happened. Just simply tell the Nigerian, please go to give us everything that has to do with this matter. Take it. If you're too lazy to break it down,
seek help.
Invest money. Get a personal assistant. You know, a personal AI assistant, artificial intelligence assistant. Connect your archives to it. You hear Nigerian journalists saying AI is a threat to journalism. Yeah. I said because you are mentally lazy. Your brains, you are mentally lazy.
And
that's the problem. If you develop your personal artificial intelligence tool, your AI assistant, just connect it to your archives, and then it will bring out everything.
A middle ground.
Everything. So what you are presenting to the people, what I expected the media to be presenting to the readers as at this morning is what actually happened.
All right.
But what are we saying? Like Cyril said, it's not about he said. I thought
it is barefaced politics.
Yes, but they make it again. Besides that, I just feel that as a government, perhaps the presidency isn't also being sincere enough.
You don't need the president to be sincere. No, see, get my drift. Look, the media is just like an investigator. A detective.
And essentially, the media must provoke debates.
That is it. The media is not supposed to take. Look,
no, but
I told politicians on a number of times. I said, look, sir, take note that whatever you say here, I don't believe it. Let's establish that. I don't believe. I'm not under any obligation to believe anything you say. But after this interview, I'm going to go back and cross-check, fact-check the things you said. And then when I do my story, of course, I'm going to break down everything in context. I hope you don't mind. Can we establish that before we go ahead? But the media is not doing that.
Okay.
And you now ask yourself, so what is the truth? You see the media gleefully, Amosun fires back at Utomi.
Oh, yeah.
Utomi fires at... Is that what you're supposed to do? Anybody can say anything. But in between what two people are saying in a dispute
is a fact.
The truth is hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
Either the two of them are lying.
Emeka, the media will go after facts.
Yeah, no. Truth must be established by facts.
You know, the facts are there. So and the readership, you don't blame the readership.
You don't blame the readers to make up their minds.
My point is that the media, I agree with Emeka, has a lot of work to do and must share copiously in the blame. Okay. Yes, because they are like the national memory, right? So they owe us a duty to bring the facts out and connect those and then yes.
No, you are not in the media. We owe the world a duty. So not we are all part of the.
Yes, where I was just going is that the depth of our rot must be properly appreciated. It is the extent to which, I mean, we've seen Fisher Show on board do some very groundbreaking stories. In the end, leadership that ought to come into action to effect the changes, they just sit back. And that's what I'm saying. That the presidency is in the thick of it. The president's helicopters were seized in France. This should give him sufficient umbrage, sufficient, as they call it, holy indignation, what was it? Righteous indignation. To say this can be
the government should be scandalized,
thoroughly scandalized. But they're not even looking at that. Do you imagine what they said? That when they called the Xinzong Fengcheng to say that this aircraft, the president wants to start with it, please release. Then the company will release it. If we have a government that can afford to stand aside while such ignominy is running rampant, is running right on our land, and it will pass like any other thing. I think that the real scandal, the real issue, right? Because I agree with him. I mean, we've seen headlines in this country. Is this what if you were not as informed as you are, and you are seeing those headlines, you'd have jumped for and say, wow, this was happening. But because you know, you're wondering, I was at this event, I know this matter very well. How come this all that they can report? I'm telling you. So this now, I mean, until Amosun even came to say, St. Amosun even came to say that 2 Chinese firms were in the running for the contract. All that we had was that Funcheng Zhongchang had taken the federal
gentlemen, gentlemen, politics ideally should build bridges and not erect walls. But consider what former Governor Amosun is saying. His reference to what he calls Utomi's predilection for shoddy business deals in the state.
That is arrant nonsense.
And appealing to sentiment?
That's arrant nonsense. Not just appealing to sentiment. It's a reflection of low intelligence. Arrant nonsense. What was the predilection? You only had one deal with Utomi. How many deals have you had with him? How many deals? That is defamatory. How many deals have you had? And I've seen journalists writing such, and I ask them, can you defend these things you're saying? If you are dragged to court, can you defend it? Because they're writing, Utomi, the same way they write, Dangote is a monopolist. As if Dangote armed themselves with an AK-47 and stop anybody from, competing in the business environment.
Yeah.
So you hear these things because why? We don't engage
and the thing
in critical thinking in this country.
Gentlemen, in an environment like ours, peculiar, such viewpoints will gain traction.
Yes, because we don't subject issues, what people say, we don't subject these things to rigorous fact-checking and rigorous thinking. We don't engage in critical thinking. Is there any subject like critical thinking in Nigeria? No. There's no subject where you have to think things through. You don't just, before you open your mouth, you think, this thing I'm about to say, I hope I won't make a fool of myself. Then just better say, no, sorry, for now, I don't have an opinion. Let me go and, study the subject matter. I'll get back to you some other time. But you see, people just come out arrogantly to display their palpable ignorance.
Yeah.
In this matter, very clear. One, you said that the State House Assembly declared Utomi as an enemy of the state.
Yeah.
That's a highly defamatory statement. How can you say an enemy of the state? In Nigeria, you cannot declare a citizen who has not been convicted in a court of treasonable felony
as an
enemy of the state.
For that matter, persona non grata.
There's nothing called persona non grata because Nigeria is a federation. The landmass of Nigeria is free to access for every Nigerian citizen.
If some of the claims being made are true.
So the point is, the media that published it. You see, let me just drop something here. I think Nigerians should now begin to demand from the media that when you use something like that, please add for context in brackets, like the foreign media do. Context. That according to the laws of Nigeria, no State House of Assembly can declare somebody as persona non grata or an enemy of the state. So that you absolve yourself. Then there was one headline, I saw one headline yesterday, a major national newspaper, that said ex-governors, of the state governors, whether aligned this on China, call Chinese company scammer. And I said, but you should have put that word scammer in inverted commas to show that it is not your opinion.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
It's not your opinion. These were things we were taught as journalists.
Yeah.
But citizen, I'm at a loss. So at the
the elementary part of it, which we used to say, facts are sacred, comment is free.
Yeah.
But even that rudimentary, elementary future of our work has now been so badly eroded. So, but again, Emeka, what we've not seen the Nigerian media do in the past 10 years, why should we sort, maybe even 20 or 30 years, why should we suddenly wake up and expect that?
No, but years ago, but years ago the media was doing it. I was a journalist.
There was a time when
and there were things we were told we could not do. For instance, if you are quoting somebody, let it be in the headline, you use single quotes.
Yeah.
So to show the reader that this is not our opinion, we're just, taking
what the person said verbatim, yes.
So what I'm just trying to say is that in this matter, it's very embarrassing because to be saying that Utomi had this and that, if Utomi should go to court, we will see. You know what somebody said on Facebook? Said, Amosun will soon deny the things he said.
Okay, gentlemen. Amosun goes on to say that Utomi knows his case didn't have any legs to stand on and is not different from Shangfu International Investment we just talked about.
So what about
imagine the imagery.
It's very sad that
the confusing
in
imagery.
This country, certain people should be in jail, have the audacity to come out, and posture. It's sad. The roads, Amosun, the roads. The go to Ojodu, go to Dero, go to Akute, go to those places. Ask those people about Amosun. Let Amosun, I dare Amosun to walk on any of those streets. Whether I just dare him.
Emeka, so when Amosun says hold every leader responsible, what do you think he's talking about?
You see, it is a thing that when the state has chosen to turn the blind eye to its duty, that's why what you have people be posturing. What he's telling you is that, serves you right. You didn't give me the justice that people like me deserve. We should be in jail. You didn't put us in jail. You didn't put us in jail.
Decent.
Because the issue is this: it should not even. First of all, that project, was there a tender
for it?
Because the law of public procurement
was it properly awarded?
One. Two, you said it was a car park that it would have caused obstruction to the state, but and I don't remember any time that the Lagos State government under Fashola, who was the governor then, ever said anything like that. That land is on Mobolaji Bank Anthony. Now we've not heard anything from Lagos State government. Then you now assumed, you said Utomi was asking you to refund 200 million, and you said you could pay back 100 million. Why did it now become a personal conversation? This is, it was about public funds, the funds belonging to the state government. How come it now became a subject of, negotiation between...
Especially considering that you had carpeted Utomi.
And then you said again, you said the House of Assembly declared as president of Grata. You were now holding discussions with him against the interest of the state, and you are willing to commit 100 million naira of the state's funds, according to you, as refund to Utomi. Then you now said again that, okay, you are challenging Utomi that let's go to that place, let's visit the place and value the project. Whether at what cost? Is it at is it the cost at that time or today's cost? Because I know that property, even 1 square meter of Mobolaji Bank Anthony in Ikeja will cost millions. Then when you're talking about things like that, you see, it also shows when we don't adhere to due process. That is why all of these things come. And let me tell you something. He can make a noise because Utomi chose not to take this issue to arbitration abroad. If he had done that abroad and seized the Ogun State asset, then people will now turn it to a tribal issue. Utomi is an Igbo man. He's seizing the asset in the Yoruba State. And the sad thing is that Nigerians don't know that they are being shortchanged. I don't care who is involved. I don't care where it is. The fact of the matter is that if there are laws that have been violated, those involved should be made to face the music. But when you now have politicians by traveling that tribal route. Oh, it's Yoruba. Oh, it's Igbo. Oh, it's Hausa. Oh, it's this, is that. What you're doing is that you don't know that politicians are very clever people. You know, like your prologue said, you know, your introduction said. They're very clever people. They know how to kick off, you know, they know how to whip up sentiments.
Yeah, banal most.
And at the end of the day, when you check everything, do you know in this matter now, let's ask ourselves, do you know nothing has been said by both sides? Nothing. We've not actually got the truth about what happened.
And the bystander is watching with bated breath. These two shall
no, you know, typical of Nigerians, you know, we're not turning it to a personal thing. These things reeks of gross abuse of due process. And it's sad that Amosun, a former governor, doesn't realize it. Nobody is interested in the okay, let me give you a clear example. Atlantic City. The US government is building its largest consulate in the world in Atlantic City, being promoted by Gilbert Chaguri, you know, who has been accused, you know, of certain things in the US. But I think the US, you know, looking at, because the US has a law on foreign corrupt practices, it has an act, Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. I think they have looked at it and look, the fact of the matter is that this is a transaction with a business entity. We didn't go and sit down, for instance, with Chaguri to say so and so. So for which you can be accused, you know, of certain things. So, but the point is this: you are not talking of Pat Utomi as in a person. Do you negotiate business as a government with a person or with a corporate entity,
or even as governor yourself?
Do you negotiate business as you may get involved in certain business discussions, but
no, but not at that level.
Along the line,
not at that level.
The documents must, you know, the facts must add up. So you don't go saying, "Oh, Pat Utomi has a predilection." You see, what it shows is that you have some things to hide.
Okay.
And I believe the people of Ogun State should demand a proper account from Ibikile Amosun and Pat Utomi on this matter.
All right. Cyril, in taking this thing home, therefore, I wonder if you share the sentiment in what the late Adolf Hitler said. Say governments across the world should count themselves fortunate that the people they administer don't ever think.
Yes, because the facts of the matter will be there, but they may not muster the discipline and the courage and the determination to go study them, check them out, dig them up, and know what's really where. Now let me bring in another dimension to the conversation. But Utomi wrote yesterday, right, and said that when he went to Ogun State, you see, this also speaks to, I don't know whether it speaks to something African about us or cultural about us. He went to meet the governor. I think after a couple of tries, the governor now hitched a ride. No?
Gave him a ride.
The governor gave him a ride. So what Utomi wrote suggested that the governor drove himself.
No, which governor now? Let's break it down.
Amosun.
Okay, the former governor.
In a convoy. It sounded very much like Amosun drove himself.
Okay.
And then Utomi we are now having the conversation. And even Utomi's own driver.
Supposed enemies, they are riding on the same car.
And
our politicians
and that even Utomi's own driver had to trail them in the convoy behind. And it was there because what's his name? Amos is making it in the personal. That Amos now, it was Amos told him, "Now, leave the 200 million, just 500 million that will pay you." And then thereafter Amos still didn't wasn't forthcoming. So what did Utomi do? Utomi took the matter to people like Tinubu, Baba Bisi Akonde, and still nothing came out of it. And I'm wondering, why do we take things this personal? Why are we such people that it's as if we are institutions are there as decoration? They are there as ritual. It is why I was asking initially that On the strength of whose or what advice did Governor Amosun cancel the contract? Where is the technical paper that the Minister of Justice and said, Mr. Governor?
He said he was misled. That was it. Do you know the Buhari?
So then he should be telling that to the court of law.
The Buhari
and not on the newspaper pages.
The Buhari administration actually advised the Ogun State government to quickly resolve the issue over that free trade zone. It advised the Ogun State government quickly, but the government did nothing. And let me tell you.
So we saw this coming.
This thing happening.
We should have now.
This thing happening in Ogun State. It's all over the nation. All over the nation.
A metaphor of sorts.
Yes.
All over the nation. Begin to look at even the current administration.
Yeah.
Was it not the other day, Akwa Ibom State government said they want to build one tower somewhere in Lagos? You know, people were asking, in this period of hunger, you know, high unemployment, why should building a tower be your priority? Oh, it is this. The company is coming to this.
But the state governor, a former governor in the state, had built
an ecumenical center. Who goes there?
Costing reportedly 35.2 billion.
Just go on and on and on. Was it not Ekiti State government the other day that said they were going into a partnership with one company and so and so? And when people ask, you know, at the end of the day, they just go in different directions. But you know one thing now, they are suddenly realizing that the Chinese can actually be masters at the game.
Yes.
They're suddenly realizing it.
Waking up a day later.
You don't go fishing, you know, if you don't know, unless you know how to catch a crocodile.
Yeah.
You know, in a crocodile, you don't go and fish in crocodile infested waters.
Because the waters are troubled.
They are troubled. So you knew that the Chinese, oh, they could be imposters, oh, they could be this, and you went playing in their field after they have signed a treaty, forgetting the fact that a free trade zone is like a diplomatic area.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All the business carried on there is actually supposed to be in dollars, in foreign currency.
Oh yeah.
So you can abuse Dangote all you like, but you forget one thing: Dangote actually has no business with you. All he does is that he's an export-centered entity.
Yeah.
And anything Dangote produces in his refinery is for export. He doesn't have to bother about whether Nigeria has no fuel or diesel. He doesn't have to bother. But when you hear the vilification, oh, Dangote this, we only know how to vilify individuals. We will not sit down and critically about the issues.
Yeah, gentlemen, let's apply the brakes here. Because time is a master, and so we must thank Cyril Abaku for your time.
A pleasure.
Emeka Madunaku.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your intervention. Okay, folks, let the debate continue. But we have set the agendum, as it were. So go about it. Until the next time, this is yours sincerely, Citizen Jones Hussein, thanking you for your time. Bye-bye now. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.